And joining us now live on After the Dead, we are so excited about this. Martinez, he played David on The Walking Dead until a knife went through his throat tonight in a really horrifying scene. Martinez, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I just want to walk through your entire process of getting on this show, The Walking Dead, what this experience has been like. But before that, I want to walk through tonight's big scene. How do they do that? How did the knife go through the throat? How did you find out that was going to happen? Start at the beginning.
I had done some research once I was initially cast and saw kind of what the storyline for David was. So I had been excited for a really long time to potentially shoot that scene because I know sometimes they switch it up and don't always follow the comic. But when I saw that's what ends up happening to David, I was like, oh, that'd be like an awesome way to go out. And so we shot a lot of different takes, a lot of CGIs, a lot of different prop knives going in and out. Lots of laying in pools of blood, just
Oof.
sticky pools of blood that were literally pulling my hair almost out of my head. It was insane, but it was one of the best days of shooting I've ever had in my life.
Oof. That's pretty cool. So you got to reanimate as a zombie. I mean, which is more fun, playing a human or playing a zombie, even if it's just for a couple minutes?
Normally I would say playing a zombie, but in this particular case, I mean, being able to be part of Negan's crew, being one of the saviors, I just think in terms of the canon and the history of The Walking Dead, it's really special. And speaking of the canon and going back to the last scene, one of the things that the producers were really cognizant of was really trying to match frame for frame with the comic, the sequence of events. So we even had a special day of fitting for costumes, making sure we had, the costumes trying to match exactly what you saw in the comic book. All the prosthetics. I had like a whole extra day of prosthetic fitting for, the knife stabbing me in the head and the other prosthetic for the stab wounds in the throat. So it was just incredible, man. It was like being a kid in Disneyland.
That sounds amazing. I mean, what an experience. From getting on the show, what was that process like until you find out that this is the episode where David is killed off? How did you find out you were on the show? And then how did you find out that David was going to die here tonight?
I had just landed back in Los Angeles, and right as we turned on our phones, my wife's cell phone went off, and she had an audition for The Walking Dead. And then 10 minutes later, my phone goes off, and then we find out I have an audition for The Walking Dead.
Wow.
So we ended up filming both auditions. Fortunately, neither of us ended up getting that role, and I think it probably saved our marriage. But literally about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I ended up getting a call from my agent saying that they wanted to offer me the role of David, and I was completely ecstatic. And the process of shooting over the summer, my first episode we shot on my birthday. So it was like the
Wow.
greatest birthday gift as an actor to be on my favorite show on television that I could ever ask for.
That's
Really
incredible.
amazing. And then when I found out in November that they were pulling the trigger and this was going to be it, I was a little sad. I'm not going to admit because I was really hoping to be back for season 8, because of the events and the storylines coming up. But
Mhm.
to be so true to the comic and the canon, I couldn't have been more excited. I just remember my last day of set with Sonequa and JDM and Eugene. I'm sorry, Josh McDermott was there as well, and it was just incredible. I couldn't have been happier when they called Martinez wrapped. It was really special and trying to fight back tears, and it was just a great day and an amazing experience.
Well, that's amazing. And once you're part of the Walking Dead family, you are always a part. If you ever decide you want to go to Walker Stalker Con, I'm sure there will be droves of fans in line to meet you, get a picture with you, and an autograph. Because once you
Really,
join
really.
this family, it is a tight knit group. But I want to know, you just mentioned Sonequa and Jeffrey and Josh. This scene in particular was very intense with Jeffrey and Sonequa. What was it like? Was it ever intimidating to work with these actors who, I mean, Jeffrey's new to the show. Sonequa's been around a few seasons. Did it ever get a little intimidating, especially tonight's scene in particular?
Working with someone like Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a treat. It's like acting school in a can, getting to sit there and learn. There were so many times where when I'm laying on the ground waiting to reanimate while he's doing a scene with Sonequa, I found myself, instead of being dead, just like staring at him and watching his performance and just trying to study and absorb as much as I could. So that was a little bit challenging. Like, oh wait, I got to close my eyes and be dead. But one of the great things about that day that really relaxed me was Sonequa Martin. I actually had met her about a year ago on the Sony lot for a previous audition for another movie, and got to read with her, and had also got to meet her husband Kenrick. So when I got to set my first day and I saw him first, really helped make me feel comfortable. And then when I found out that my last scene was going to be with Sonequa, it was this amazing, just kind of full circle, everything coming together moment from a journey that started a year before. So it was really, really special.
That's amazing. I'm happy for you, man. And I feel like I don't even have to ask this question, but how does this experience rank among all your acting experience? I mean, Grey's Anatomy is under the belt, just like Jeffrey. How does this rank among everything you've accomplished so far?
Number one, experience number one. It's been amazing. It's real. Grey's Anatomy was incredible. Sandra Oh, Kevin McKidd, working with them, Guy as Charles was unbelievable. But to be on a show that is my favorite show on television, that was an experience that I had never had before, to work on my number one show. So total dream come true. Like I said, couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, that is
Except
amazing.
maybe beyond 3 or 4 more seasons.
Hey, I feel like on this show, it's just kind of the unwritten rule of getting cast. You never know how long you're going to be around. Luckily for you, you got to be part of a really, really iconic scene. And I mean, I don't know how it gets any better than that. That is so cool.
That's true, man. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Martinez, thank you so much for joining us on After the Dead tonight. I'm sure the comment section is going wild and they're asking questions. But I'm looking forward to seeing you. What's next for you?
Coming up next, we're working on Dead Exit, which is a comic book that's being turned into a television series. Check out my Twitter handle, at Actor Martinez. You'll find the link in my bio for all the information about it. It's been a really great pilot season. We've had some really awesome auditions. So there's some new shows coming up. So we'll see what's in the bag. I'm really excited.
Well, fantastic, man. I can't wait to see you again, and we'll catch up as soon as we see where you land, and maybe we'll have you back on the show sometime. I really hope to do that. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Take care, man. Have a great night.